Hey everyone, it's Maddie here with RIDGID, and thanks for joining our JobSiteLive for this month. We're here in Elyria, Ohio, RIDGID's headquarters at our Global Training Center, our schoolhouse. And today we are excited to go live with you about our SeeSnake Diagnostic Cameras in RIDGID Connect. If you have any questions throughout our live, go ahead at the bottom of the screen. There's a little question mark icon. You can click it, submit a question, or go ahead and throw it in the chat, and we will get to those at the end. 2 lucky viewers will be winning a Carhartt RIDGID backpack. We will DM you at the end. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Colin and Kaitlin to kick us off.
Hi everyone, I'm RIDGID Colin, or Colin Stipe, the product manager for Diagnostics and Locating for RIDGID.
Hi, I'm Kaitlin Risk. I'm the product manager for software and RIDGID Connect.
I'm really excited to talk to you about our RIDGID SeeSnake products. I'm going to give you a brief overview of all the products. One thing I want to start off with is if you need more information, go to RIDGID.com. You can also go on there to click, do a demo, with one of our territory managers. I'm going to start off here focusing on our large reels. The biggest reel that we have is actually the RIDGID SeeSnake Standard. It has the largest camera head, which is 35 millimeters. The camera heads come in a couple different functions. The 2 that I'll talk about here are fixed camera head and a self-leveling camera head. So the difference between fixed and self-leveling is, as fixed rotates around, you'll see on your monitor that actually the bottom of the pipe will continue to rotate with it. In a self-leveling, the camera head is actually rotating inside of this head, so the bottom of the camera always stays on the bottom of the pipe. So most of these camera reels we'll talk about will all have TruSense. The first ones I'm showing definitely all the way through to the end. With the RIDGID, or with the standard, you'll actually have 2 options of 200 feet of push cable or 325 feet of push cable, and that is the most stiff push cable that we have also. The second one I'll talk about is the Mini. The Mini has been around for a long time. It's a little bit smaller camera head with a 30 millimeter, and this one I'll show you the flexibility of the push cable. So this one is just a little less stiff than the standard. So this one's actually second on the top of our flexibility chart. And then the Mini comes with 200 feet of push cable, also comes with a standard or a fixed head or a self-leveling head. The last of the large reels I'll talk about is the RM200. This one is so amazing to be able to get in and out of job sites. The wheels make it so easy. If you have a long walk to go in a commercial building, it makes it easy for you. Plus we also have a little storage bin in here, so if you need to store your snacks or an extra battery, gloves, anything that you need, it makes it easy to bring things right on the job site. And actually on the back here there's a location for your monitor, and then you can click it in so as you pull it, it does not fall off. The RM200 comes in 2 different drums. There's actually a stiff drum that's very similar to the standard, and then there's also a B drum, which actually is, the stiffness is very similar. I'm sorry, the A drum is like the Mini, it's a little less stiff, than the B drum is very similar to the standard. And that'll come with a 25 millimeter self-leveling camera head, also standard with TruSense. The next group we'll go into is the compact series. So here we have the C40 and the M40. They are essentially the same exact reel except one difference. The C40 has a more flexible push cable. The M40 is stiffer. So the M40 is much more similar to the Mini. You can see it's pretty thick and it doesn't flip all the way around. And then the C40 is a little bit more flexible, and you should be able to see it bend a little more as we go. These both are also standard with TruSense, and they come with a 25 millimeter self-leveling camera head also. And then the distance is 131 feet of push cable. You'll recognize there's kind of this little bay here. It teams really well with CSX Versa, or if you're using the VIA, the HQX dock fits right inside of here. So when you're carrying it onto the job, it's really easy to bring your monitor and the reel all in one hand. Next, we'll go over to the smallest reels, and I usually call these the clamshell reels, mainly just because of the way that they open. What you're going to look at here is, even though they look very similar, they are pretty different. I'll talk just for a minute about the microReel Apex, but I'm going to give you an actual live demo of it after we go to Kaitlin. But it is a 25 millimeter camera head, and with this we're actually introducing something new. It has an Apex camera head, which has an auto image flip. So actually the image as it's going in the pipe will flip digitally as opposed to self-leveling or a fixed head. And then the flexibility of this cable is very comparable to the C40. And then this has 100-foot of push cable. And again, this is our newest reel. This is the microReel Apex, and it's really excited that we got this out this year. The next two, I usually consider these specialty reels. So when you look at them, the camera head is actually even getting a little bit smaller. This one is a 22 millimeter camera head. This does not have TruSense currently, but the flexibility of this one you'll recognize is even more flexible than the C40 or the microReel Apex. What's great about this is it teams really well if you have a larger reel. So if you're out there and you have like a mini, a standard, an RM200, an M40, and you need something with more flexibility, this would be the product that I would recommend. It can go into P-traps really easy. It gets into drains really easy. If you needed to shove it through a toilet, it'll go through a toilet really easily. This comes with 65 feet of push cable. The Nano is even smaller and even more flexible. So this camera head is 15.5 millimeters. And then the flexibility of the cable, I mean, really, if you wanted to tie this into a pretzel, it'd be no problem. The thing about this one is it's only designed to go in pipes that are 1 to 2 inch because it's so flexible. So there are definitely industries that need that size. The thing that always comes to my mind is people that work on pools. You have very small pipes, so you can get it through there really easy and see what's going on. After talking through just a quick overview, I want to talk a little bit about TruSense. So TruSense is a great innovation that was brought to the reels a few years ago, and what it's creating is a two-way data link in between the camera head and your monitor. And so what it's doing is the camera head's allowing the monitor to read information differently. The thing that most people are recognize is called HDR. It's a high dynamic range image sensor, and what that does is it allows you to see farther in the pipe. So the ratio of dark and light spots actually, it enhances that, and that's how you can see farther down the pipe. The other piece that's in there is tilt sense, and I'll show you that on the monitor. Tilt sense actually allows you to see what the pitch of the camera is while it's in the pipe. So if the camera head's going up, you'll be able to read that on the monitor, and if the camera head's going down, or if you have a belly inside the pipe, all those things are really good information to help you diagnose what's going on. What I'm going to do is pass it over to Kaitlin, and she's going to talk about RIDGID Connect, which is one of our RIDGID software solutions.
Awesome. Thanks, Colin. I'm Kaitlin Riss, the product manager for RIDGID Connect. Again, nice to meet everyone. I'm going to talk about RIDGID Connect and how the goal of it is to have you have a professional job report. So what Colin was mentioning with our cameras, you're able to take a video and do the inspection, and you can send that straight to RIDGID Connect, which is an app. You can access that on a tablet or a smartphone, and you're able to create the reports. You can add all the job details of what you did to give your client or customer true transparency to the job. Once you add all those details, you can add the customer information. You'll be actually able to edit the video in RIDGID Connect, which is one of the benefits. You can create a bookmark, so you can point out the exact issue that you're seeing and what you solved, so they don't have to watch the whole video when you send it to them. Another great benefit of RIDGID Connect is when you send the report to your customer, you can either text or email it to them or copy a link and send it to them. It'll be online, and then they can review your business on Yelp, Google, or Facebook. So it'll be really exciting to help boost your sales, get your brand out there. We are helping overall to make people more professional. Lastly, I'll just mention with our reports, another great feature is that you can control who can access the report. So some cases, people like to shop around once you send them a report. That won't be possible with RIDGID Connect. When they get that video, you can control how long they can see it so that you can keep the job with yourself. And then last thing I'll mention is storage. So RIDGID Connect is hosted on the cloud, so it is a cloud-based solution. And you're able to, that means access the videos later. So if you need to do a repeat job, you can go back, find your video in one of your reports, and you can have that information for later. So ultimately, we're trying to get rid of paper and help you do this through technology. So if you're interested in a demo, we can definitely do that for you. Just comment below. We can also give you a free trial so you can try it out. So just reach out either by DMing or commenting below, and we'll get you connected. And now I'm going to put it over to Colin, where he's going to give you a demo.
And we're going to jump right into the microReel Apex and actually show you some of the new features of the Apex camera head, along with some of the features that come along with TruSense and that it comes standard on the Apex. So the first thing I always want to show is actually the kickstand. What's really great about adding the kickstand, it allows this reel to be used in 3 different setups. So if you have like a small area that you need to fit in, you can use it vertically just like this. If you wanted some added stability and you have a little bit of room, you can put it back, as a 45-degree angle, and it gives you a lot of stability as you're going in and out of the pipe. And there's one more setup. There's actually feet that are on the back, which you can actually place this directly on its back. And then if you need some clearance because you're actually using a CSX via, there's enough room for the via to sit underneath there. So the first thing before we get the pipe inside the camera that I'm going to talk about is just a quick mention about our CSX monitors. What's great about these is they can run directly to your iPhone, or I'm sorry, smart device or tablet. So what we did is we actually hooked up our iPad directly through using HQX Live, and you can see the image on the screen. And what's really great about here is it gives you another touch point. So if you have a customer that really wants to see what you're doing inside the pipe, you can essentially tell them download HQX Live, and they can watch you do everything you need. So I've got that set up here. And then I'm going to walk through just some of the features of the camera itself. I'll have you zoom in here to the front of, here in the corner, you'll see the TruSense logo. So you'll notice that there's actually a gear here. If you are not seeing the gear on a monitor that you own currently, you actually just need a software update. You can pull that directly through HQ, or you can download it through your phone. There's a couple options there. But what you'll recognize is there's a white dot here. You're actually only going to see that with an Apex reel because our self-leveling is, it's done digitally. So it's an auto image flip. So that's telling you, that white dot is telling you that the image is on the bottom of the pipe. And as it rotates around, you'll see it actually flip automatically to get the bottom of the pipe to stay at the bottom of the monitor. And then one of the other couple features that are added is you'll see here that it's blue, and also the numbers of the TruSense saying it's essentially 80 degrees going up. Blue means that the camera itself is actually going vertically. And then as you go down, you'll recognize that it'll actually go yellow or brown. So it's saying it's going down towards the ground. So it's going down directly. And you'll see there's roughly like 70 degrees right now is how I'm pointing it. But what I'll do is I'm going to start to get this directly into the pipe. The first thing that I like to do is I get the camera near the edge, and then I'm going to come over here to the monitor and I'm going to reset the counter. All you have to do with that is just hold down the 0 button or the net 0 button, and you'll see that it actually goes to 0 here. So I know as I'm going in the pipe, that's the distance from the pipe to wherever I see an obstruction or anything else in the pipe. As I'm going through, you'll recognize that the white dot actually just made a flip to try to keep the camera near the bottom of the pipe. This is TruSense, really live. It's showing that you can see really far in the pipe. We're actually going to come up to a little bit of a bend here. So you can see we're at about 18, 19, 20 feet. And we're just going to keep going down the pipe. We also just did another flip. And here at the end, we have a little color wheel and a Lego guy. So the reason why I got all the way to the end and we're at about 29 feet is because this really allows you to see what HDR is. You have really vibrant colors. You can see that Lego guy is actually probably 2 feet down the pipe, 3 feet down the pipe. So he's really far and you actually know what's inside the pipe. So that high dynamic range image sensor that comes with TruSense, it really, is really beneficial for you to diagnose things going on. So what I'll do is I'm going to actually show you just quickly when you're in HQX Live here on the tablet, or you can actually do it on your monitor also. If we wanted to take an image and share it really easily, what I'll do is I'm just going to take a picture and save it directly on the iPad. What's nice about that is we can click the file folder here. And if we wanted to add a caption, there's a spot here we could type in, hey, Lego Man in the pipe or something. But if we wanted to share it, we could actually share it, via email, text message, or we could go directly in to RIDGID Connect. And I'm going to pass this along to Kaitlin to talk more.
Awesome, thanks Colin. So when you share it to RIDGID Connect, you're able to create a job report right from the iPad. So when you're on the job, as I mentioned, you just fill out this information. You can also fill it out more later if you want to do that as well. So you can put a title, you'll put your contact information of who you're sending it to, the date and time, you'll add the description, you can add a status and a priority as well. Once you save that information, you'll be able to send it right to RIDGID Connect, where then you can go ahead and send it to your customer. So I'm going to open up RIDGID Connect now. And once you open up RIDGID Connect, you'll be able to see a job report under recent, and you can open that up and see all those details here. And your media of your video or images will be there. So you'll be able to then go ahead and click share and send that right to your customer so they can see exactly what you did on the job. And now I'm going to turn it to Maddie to see the questions that came in.
All right, yeah, so we have a few questions that have come in so far. So the first one, can I manage and schedule my jobs within RIDGID Connect?
Yes, you definitely can. So we have a calendar view on the front where you can add all of your jobs on our home screen. So you can schedule them, assign them to different people within the business, and they can get dispatched and sent to the job. So they can see what their schedule is. You can actually fill out the template for the report before and add the media later. So just what you want to do with your business and which is easier for you all.
Great. Next one, Colin, you kind of mentioned on this. Do monitors ever need updated?
Yeah, what's great is that over time we do come out with some new software updates, and you can do it pretty easily. If you're buying a new reel, pretty often we actually have a USB attached, but you can go directly to HQ on your desktop, or you can do it automatically through your phone. So your HQX Live will recognize when you own a monitor. So say you have a Versa, it'll actually recognize inside the app to know that you have that, and when there is an update pushed out, it will actually grab that, and then when it connects to that monitor, it'll actually automatically send the update. It might not happen right away, but you'll see it happen in the background and allow you to get those updates. So again, if you have a monitor that's not seeing that Gear TiltSense logo, make sure you update it, because there's some other features that actually are coming along and some little fixes and stuff.
Great. Another question, can we customize the report to show that it's from our business in the RIDGID Connect app?
Yeah, that's a great question. So once you create your job report in RIDGID Connect, you can actually add your business's logo and any information such as the business name, address. So when you have the job report, you'll be able to see that when you send it right to your customer. We also can add the ability to follow up with the customer. If they want to write you a message, you'll get notified through RIDGID Connect. So we can set all that up.
Awesome. And then can you access the RIDGID Connect on a laptop?
Yes, so we have the smart device version, so our app. You can do it on Android or iPhone. You can also access a web version. So you can do it online, whatever you're more comfortable with. You can upload the videos in the field and then edit them on your computer later, whatever is best.
Great. Colin, back over to you. Do all the monitors and cameras work together?
They do. That's what's really great about the SeeSnake products is doesn't matter which monitor or which camera you own, all of them are going to work together. And then like I mentioned earlier, all of these monitors and cameras, they connect with the same exact cable that we've been using for years. It's actually a 3-pin connection here. So if you have a monitor that's 10 years old, it'll work with a brand new, compact series C40. They hook up exactly the same. Some of the features might be a little bit different just because of some updates that have come, but it'll 100% work with any old or new unit.
Great. Another question, if the digital image doesn't automatically flip, is there a way that you can manually rotate the image?
So not directly on any of these reels, it doesn't automatically flip. You'll recognize as soon as that white dot gets over 90 degrees on either side, it'll flip it on itself. So there isn't any issues with that not happening automatically.
Great. And then, would you be able to walk through the carrying weight of each unit?
I don't have it off the top of my head, to be honest with you. You can definitely get that information from RIDGID.com. All of that information's on each one of the tabs. So when you go in and you select a mini, it'll tell you exactly the weight. There's also some information that links directly to the operating manual, and that information's in there also.
Great. Kaitlin, kind of a twofold question here. Could you kind of talk about how does someone sign up for RIDGID Connect, and then kind of how much does it cost?
Yeah, great question. So RIDGIDConnect.com is where you'll sign up. You can, as I mentioned earlier, request a demo, or you can get a free trial if you want to try it out. We have 5 different plans. So we have our free trial all the way up to an enterprise plan where we can customize it for you. So if you're looking for something different on those pricing options you see on the website, just fill out the form, reach out to us, and we can be in touch with you.
Great. Someone asked, what is your HDR distance?
It's going to be different just in every single pipe. So you're definitely going to get a range. The better that the LEDs are working, and the cameras have different LEDs also. So it is going to shift, but you can know that you're actually going to get the farthest distance of any of the cameras that are out on the market today.
All right, and I think with that, we might have gone through all the questions that have come through. So with that, I just want to thank everyone for joining us on our JobSite Live. If you have any other questions, feel free to DM us, comment on the live video that we share, or as always, you can reach out to us on RIDGID.com. So thanks again for joining us, and stay tuned for the next one.